Welcome to the Financial Doctor Show.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, welcome to the Financial Doctor Show. I'm Nick, your financial doctor. So tonight bersama saya adalah Encik Rafiq Hidayat, Managing Director of Wealth Vantage Advisory Sdn Bhd. Hi Rafiq, Assalamualaikum.
Hi Nick.
Hello.
Waalaikumsalam.
It's nice to have you tonight. So yes, I think it's very apt untuk Encik Rafiq tonight. Kita akan bercakap tentang why financial planning. Tapi sebelum tu Rafiq, let's just take 1 minute to share this show on our personal FB page. Okay, let's just take 1 minute. Share. All right. Okay. So it's nice to have you, Rafiq, finally on my show, the Financial Doctor Show tonight. So basically,
Thank you for inviting.
buat untuk bagi kesedaran kepada rakyat Malaysia tentang perancangan kewangan secara keseluruhan dan juga the services of a licensed financial planner. So before we go to through the show, Rafiq, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Rafiq Hidayat Muhammad Ramli. I'm a licensed financial planner. I'm also the founder and managing director of Wealth Vantage Advisory Sdn Bhd, a licensed financial planning and financial advisory firm here in Malaysia.
I see. Ada orang tanya umur Rafiq berapa?
Obviously lagi muda daripada Nick lah.
Of course. Saya tak nafikan. Tapi wajah kita nampak macam sebaya je.
Yelah tu. Kan.
Alright. So, actually, it is for the past few days, I've been talking about full financial planning, and I was thinking this is a very good topic sebab nak bagi kesedaran kepada ramai rakyat Malaysia kat luar sana bahawa perancangan kewangan secara keseluruhan ini sangat penting untuk dia buat untuk capailah prioritas mereka. Okay, tapi sebelum tu mari kita berkenalan dengan Encik Rafiq Hidayat. So I'm going to ask you a few simple questions, Rafiq. Pertama sekali, apakah you punya passion dalam industri ni? Apakah you punya passion tentang kerja ni?
I think, okay, so just a bit background. I actually came from the corporate line, and what made me change into this is mainly because working in corporate, I couldn't get self-satisfaction from seeing the results of my work.
Okay.
Kan? So bukan nak cakap tak boleh deliver the work that is asked for you, tapi once you delivered it successfully pun, you don't see the other side. Means you tak see the macam the joy, the relief that the people who receive the other end of your work need. So, and the reason why I chose financial planning as a career and decided to open a BVA is because of the easy way is to say the pleasure that I get from seeing my clients punya financial situation improve and personally seeing their growth and their changes throughout the engagement.
Alright. Tapi rasa orang akan terkejut kalau orang tahu apa Rafiq punya background.
Kena bagi tahu ke?
Kan?
Sekali lagi tak sampai topik utama pula, nanti banyak orang tanya pasal the background pula kan?
Pasal background pula. Okay. Aside from work, apa you punya hobby, Rafiq?
Okay, what's my hobby? Actually, okay, so I think one of my hobby is actually to travel. Actually, I love to travel. Me, my wife, my kids, we travel. We used to travel extensively before COVID lah. Before COVID,
yes.
we go to places. Yeah, we've gone to places that we've been before, or we will also try to explore new places. Because I believe that, especially for the children, it's a good, how to say, a good eye opener to them to see what's the culture in other countries, learn new things that they might not learn in classrooms and everything. And I think it's been rewarding lah. So we've been slightly under stress because we can't travel. So to Swiss, and
Many people
hopefully,
are.
hopefully once we have the green light, then we will start traveling again.
Great. Yeah. Look forward to that. Okay, Rafiq, apakah satu fun fact about you that people do not know?
Oh, okay. Fun fact about me. Okay. I actually, to be honest, like even though I'm generally people think I'm an people person. I like to basically talk to people and everything, which is not not true. But actually, I prefer to spend a lot of time on my own. I
Quiet
actually,
person.
yeah, I don't have any issue just like sitting at home for long periods of time, like just like um, reading manga or like watching TV, things like that, just bumming around. And but at the same time, then when I work, I work hard lah.
I see. So ni pendiam lah orangnya.
Yeah, if I don't have to talk to people, I don't talk to people.
Okay, tapi I rasa once people start to talk to him, then people start to know lah. Kan? Pendiam ke tak pendiam. Alright, so do you have any favorite quote that you would like to share?
Actually, I have two.
Wow, okay. Share both.
Actually, I have two. So one is actually generally what actually most of the quotes is actually how I practice, especially related to what I do. So one is don't do unto others what you wouldn't want to be done unto you. So basically, especially for financial planners or people in the service industry, so if the easiest way for you to practice is basically if you don't like somebody doing something to you, don't do it to your clients, don't do it to your prospects. So example, if you don't like
Alright.
people to spam your WhatsApp groups, then you don't spam people's WhatsApp groups. If you don't like people like not being transparent with you, so you also have to be transparent with people. So that's my first one lah. First one. Okay. Second one is something that I generally tell my financial advisors in the
Okay.
firm.
Let me
Yeah.
see what I can
So
recall.
yeah. So basically, if you never try, the answer will always be no.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if you so because and the fact that you try, actually you increase your probability from 0 to 50%. And if I'm a betting man, that's odds that I'm willing to work with.
Interesting. Fantastic. I like the second one. Yeah, I recall you saying this. If you never try, the answer is always no. So that means kalau you tak pernah tanya orang tu, memang jawapannya no lah kan. So you jangan segan nak bertanya. Okay, Rafiq, your favorite food? Oh, do I remember?
Okay. My favorite food. Okay. So my favorite food is actually Thai food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was raised in the northern of Malaysia.
I
So
it's always
and
beef. It's
yeah.
not beef.
So no, but part of it is beef lah. There is beef in Thai food, right?
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is beef in Thai food. But I remember when I was growing up, I was actually very picky. I was actually
Oh,
very picky with eating the food. So, and my growth was stunted for a bit lah. So my parents at that time was like worried, okay, and that I will never grow. So people who look at me now probably wouldn't know lah, but those that knew me from when I was younger in primary school and everything. So when some of them, if I haven't seen them for a while, I say, oh, okay, dah lain, okay. So my mom brought me to this one Thai restaurant in Alostar, and I just fell in love with the food. Like
oh.
for somebody who was a picky eater, I think the first time I makan situ, I tambah 3 kali nasi.
So since
Yeah,
then until today,
correct.
love
Until
for,
today.
for
Yeah.
Thai
So,
food.
but
Wow.
nothing against Thai food in KL. Nothing against Thai food in KL. It's not the same
Oh,
because
okay.
yeah.
So dekat
So because
Alostar
I think in
juga.
KL for no because yeah, it has to be near the need. Sebab the ones that I cook in KL are the ones that are generally cooked by the Kelantanese punya
Yeah,
ni. So dia rasa dia lain.
lain. Yeah,
Rasa
I
dia lain.
agree with you. Dia mesti betul-betul must get the Thai chef. Dan
Correct.
sekarang
So
masalah dekat all this Thai restaurant, the Thai chef semua dah balik dan tak balik sini balik. So you
tak
don't
boleh balik.
tak boleh
Tak
balik
boleh
sini
balik.
balik.
So the restaurant that I first ate tu memang the owner, the chef semua memang from Thai.
I see. I think kalau kita cakap pasal makanan ni, we can talk about it until the cows come back. So let's get to the
Yes.
main question. Rafiq, so please share with us the first question. Apa itu financial planning? What is financial planning? So as a MD of Wealth Vantage Advisors Sdn Bhd, please share with us.
Okay, so how do I explain financial planning in the most simplest way? So if we look at it from a technical standpoint, financial planning is actually a process or a journey.
Okay.
So it's a process or a journey that takes a person from where they are to where they want to be. That is like the most layman term. So, and how do we go about it is by first understanding who you are, where you want to go, etc. Then we collect your data. We collect your data, or what we call fact finding. After which we then analyze the data. So basically, if you don't give us complete data or you give us incorrect data, then our analysis would be inaccurate. If our analysis would be inaccurate, then our recommendation would be inaccurate. So it wouldn't solve your problem. It wouldn't solve your problem. After we have our recommendations, we will then discuss it with you, the client, and you will always have a say whether you agree or not with the recommendation, and we will then adjust it accordingly. Once we get to a point where we agree, then we'll move towards implementing those recommendations before we do constant monitoring and review. So in a nutshell, so it is a journey and a process. So to get you from where you are to where you want to be.
Well, I feel it's a lengthy journey. All right. So, at what point people start doing financial planning, right? I mean, yeah. If I recap back what you've mentioned just now, first is about awareness. I would put it as point A to point B. That means where you are as point A to point B, where you wanted to go.
Mm.
You also mentioned about understanding your current financial situation. Okay, and then there is an process that you do there, collecting data, analyzing, you do some recommendation, and then you sit down and agree with your customer and implement and monitor. But where can I start? When do I start? I mean, what is the right age to start? Or is there any such thing as a right age to start? Or yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
To be honest, there isn't.
Mm.
To be honest, it isn't, because it's actually more related to the readiness of the client. Okay, it's more related to the readiness of the client. What do I mean? So you can be somebody who's very young, but you have a realization. Okay, for me to get from where I am right now to where I want to be, as you mentioned, is a long journey. Okay, so similar to, let's say, taking a GPS. Okay, having a GPS app on our phone. So if we were to, okay, let's say before we had highways, before we had GPS. So for most people, you want to go from one place to another place, either you know where to go, or you have somebody who's been there, or you would have the maps.
Mm.
So I still remember when I was in the States. So this was before you had your Google Maps and everything.
Before Waze.
Yeah, before Waze. So people should count their stars lah. You don't have to do that. But I wanted to travel with my friends from Boston to Miami for spring break.
Mm.
Okay, this was when I was 19 years old, a long time ago. So in order to get there, I actually had to download instructions. You can still go to the website, let's say Yahoo, etc. And say, okay, I want to go from, let's say, my university to let's say Miami. Okay, so then it would say, okay, it would take me how many hours, things like that. Then okay, print detail detail punya instructions. So
Okay.
when we print the detail instructions, it then about like 40, 50 pages.
So you print out hard copies.
hard
my God.
copies.
Wow.
Yeah, we had to print hard copies because at that time,
Yeah.
to be honest, there was no smartphones at that point of time.
Yeah.
There was no smartphones at that point of time. So, and to bring a laptop, and ni pun nanti kalau let's say that journey from Boston to Miami took us, kalau drive straight pun about 20 hours. So there's no way a battery of a laptop can last that long.
Correct.
Kan? So the only option was paper. So we actually had to print on paper and started like, okay, so memang kena ada somebody lah kena baca, okay, so now this road, then okay, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, tukar. So when we are on the interstate, it's fine because interstate tu selalu laju je.
Yeah.
Jalan je. Tapi once you get into the towns, then instruction dia
That's it.
sekejap tukar kan. And if kita tersalah jalan, nak cari jalan yang betul balik, you might spend a long time. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Why did I mention this story? Because it's actually analogous to financial planning.
Okay.
So, okay, even though there's actually information about, so you Google je, you pergi Facebook ke, social media, yang lain semua, ada je people share financial knowledge. So you can learn from that. Okay, you can learn from that. But then how are you going to put all of that as a detailed plan to get you from where you are to where you want to be? How sure are you that you'll be taking the right steps in order to get there? Are you sure that you won't make any mistake throughout that journey? Because like similarly like I said lah, any mistakes that you make might actually take you off from the most optimum path in order to get there.
I see.
So it comes to your awareness that you probably need help. Okay, you probably need help. Even somebody who's has very good financial awareness would still benefit from having a financial planner, because the financial planner can then act as a sounding board, a second opinion, because we ourselves might not be aware of everything that's going on in the financial sector, the financial services.
I see.
Right. So having that person that, okay, I have somebody approach me with this. Can you help me look into it? While you then do whatever that you do in order to get your income or whatnot. Okay.
Rafi, you mentioned just now about readiness. You see, when someone wants to start or to do a financial planning. So, what are the things that you will do or that your company do that WVA do to create the awareness of readiness to start financial planning?
Okay. So I did mention about information. Okay, so there's so many information available right now. So all of it is at the click of your mouse or touch on your screen. Okay, so it's so easy to get information, but at the same time, it's so easy to get misinformation.
I see.
Okay, so what we do, or part of what we do in WVA, we try to bridge the gap. So we are also providing the awareness to the general public, similar to what we're doing tonight. Okay,
Yes.
we're giving awareness to the general public, and the awareness is free. Okay, you don't have to pay a single cent. You don't have to engage us as your financial planners. You can just go to our website, our social media sites, and everything. There is an abundance of financial knowledge there. So before you know that whether you're ready or not, just go read. I think just by reading, you will bring your level of financial literacy up, and then you will have a much more deeper understanding of why financial planning is important and why you should engage a financial planner.
I guess if we were to relate to the current financial education system of Malaysia, all right, we do not have much information about financial planning. Okay, so this is also, I guess, it's something very individual or something which, if you are exposed to it, like your parents are doing it, or you see your brothers or sisters doing it, then you'll think of something about financial planning and find out about it. But if you don't, I think there are a lot of people out there also always mistaken financial planners with other agents, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so where can we find financial planners, Rafiq?
Okay, so the easiest way, especially in Malaysia, is you can go to the SC website. Okay, you
Okay.
can go to the SC website. I think it's ers.seccom.my if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So then
Maybe
you can
Kai, can you
key
share
in
that?
the, yeah. So you can, if let's say somebody were to tell you, oh, I'm a financial planner, you can just type their name. For example, okay, you can type Nick Adlan, Nick Adlan's name in the link. So once you type it, then it should come up. It should come out his full name or people that has the same. Maybe there's 2 or 3 Nick Adlan. So then all the names with Nick Adlan is going to come out, and then they're going to show their license and whether they're still active or not. Okay. So generally, like for me, what I do when somebody like puts on their social media that they are saying that they're financial planners, I just type their name. I just type their name in, and if it doesn't come out, then I know it's somebody that is just like doing it as a marketing tactic, because financial planning is the in thing now. So in
Correct.
order to get people to trust you, so you basically portray yourself as a financial planner, even if you're not. Just for awareness purposes, doing that can land you in hot water, because if let's say people were to report you, you can go to jail and you can pay up to 25 million in fines.
Okay, I'll get my producer to share the link, the SC link in a short while. Okay, where you can check. You can check my name, Nick Alan Hafiz. You can check Rafiq's name, Rafiq Hidayat, whether our names are there, and see whether we are qualified to this to apa to give or to do financial planning. All right, can you please? Yes, that's the one. Kai. Can you just share on the screen? So Rafiq, tell more about WVA. Okay, if people would like to know more about WVA, what is WVA? What do we do, or how many advisors that we have? Is it?
Okay, so WVA is short form for Wealth Vantage Advisory. So WVA, technically, we were incorporated in September 2016. We were
Okay,
incorporated in September 2016. We received our license in end of 2017, early 2018, and we've been operational since. So we used to have about 35 to 36 financial planners attached with us, but we did internal restructuring, and now we're left with what I think, what, 22, 23, or 24. I can't remember the exact details.
about
So
30.
financial, yeah, yeah.
About 30, isn't it?
No, it's 20 something now.
I see.
It's
Okay,
20, it's 20 something now. We used to have 30 plus, but now it's like 20 something. Because like during MCO and everything, so obviously some of the people that we had other plans and everything. So we say, okay, let's move on. So we just continued with the people who still wanted to do financial planning and with WVA. Okay, so yeah, so why we use the word vantage in our name is because vantage is a viewpoint. So as financial planners, we should have a overall viewpoint, a very high viewpoint, that we can see our clients' situation from a uh, open and independent point of view.
I
Okay,
see.
so there shouldn't be any conflict, and in our advice that we give to our clients. Okay, so that from a company point of view, or from point of view, is that we actually a full license firm. What does it mean? So we have our licensed financial planning firm from Securities Commission. We also have our financial advisory firm from Bank Negara, and we're one of the few firms that actually practice what we call full financial planning or holistic financial planning.
I see.
So like what I explained to you earlier, in terms of it is a journey, and it is a process for us to go through that journey. Yeah, so we are one of the few that put it as our strategy, and also get all our financial planners to practice doing that.
I see. Other than the advisors in WBA, there's about 20 plus of them. Are there any people who actually support these advisors? I mean, does the advisors do everything, or you know?
No, actually, our practice in WBA, I wouldn't say it's unique, but it is different from others, in which we actually need our advisors to be good at managing their clients. So most of the other things we actually have full teams in the back. So we have both back and middle office to help our advisors, so that our advisors uh, don't have to spend a lot of time on those things that can be outsourced to other parties. So we have what we call a power planning team. So we have a power
Our
planning
planning
team. So
team.
power planning, yeah. So power planning, our power planners are actually CFP, IFP holders
Wow,
who choose not to practice.
I see. So they do work at the
So
back.
correct. So they are competent. They are competent technically. They can do analysis probably better than most of the financial planners, because this is what they do on a day in, day out. It's just that they choose not to meet with people.
Meet with client.
And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. They can still contribute to improving someone's financial situation. Okay, and because we do have those people, so then like somebody like me, I don't have to spend time doing a financial plan. I can give it to them, and then they will do the initial draft. And what I'll do is I review and finalize before I present it to my client.
I see. All right. So I guess this unique arrangement that is in WBA actually contribute to the strength of the services of what we do.
Yeah, would have to say I would call more. They are like the engine lah. They're basically the
Yeah.
engine that moves WBA, and I think without them and the rest of the back office, we wouldn't get to where we are right now.
Correct.
So I'm very thankful of all the support staff that we have within the company, and we hope they'll continue to be with us throughout our journey to where we want to be. Hopefully, a few years from now.
I guess from the customer point of view, they can be assured of the level of services, the quality services that we provide to our clients, because we actually not a one person, one man show, but we actually have all these para
Yeah.
planners.
So what I would explain to my clients or even prospects that approach me is that part of this is also for continuity. So you're dealing with human beings from a service point of view. Let's say something happens to me, but the thing is, while it's understandable, but you're paying for a service, so you should still get served during that time. Okay,
Correct.
so because of our systems, our processes and everything, we will then assign a temporary advisor, and the temporary advisor can just read up on your case, and then meet up with the client to just take it onwards lah, towards like what needs to be done lah, without skipping a bit lah,
I
except for
see.
the relationship building lah.
Of course. So I guess there is a continuity here that the client can be assured of the quality and also the services that they have paid for. Okay, so what is included in WVA full financial planning?
Mm, what is included in WVA full financial planning? Okay, I think
Yeah.
before we go into full financial planning, I think it would be better for me to explain what are the type of services that is available under financial planning.
Okay. Can.
Okay, because I think one of the biggest misconception that people have out there, that engaging a financial planner is expensive. It's not.
Okay.
It is not actually. It's not. So what we call it is more of a value of money. It's value of money. I'm not saying like it's RM1, RM2. Don't take me
That's
wrong.
cheapskate.
But but apa, you can engage a financial planner for as low as RM300 to do the what we call a financial health check. Okay, at least in WVA lah. In other firms, it will probably be different. So in WVA, for as low as RM300, you can talk to a financial planner, and you will still get a full report. So you get a full report that would tell you your overall financial situation, where are your gaps, but it doesn't tell you what needs to be done. A licensed financial planner, will still sit down with you, go through it in detail, and answer any questions that you might have. Okay, they might point you generally to where you need to, what you need to do, etc., but they won't give you specific advice. in terms of, okay, you need to then take out this much amount and put it here. That I said no. General advice would probably be, okay, you need to diversify. They're not going to tell you how to diversify, how much to diversify. They're not going to tell you that. Okay, and that's a once off. So basically, once you do that and they present, that's the end of the engagement. Okay. So next up is what in WVA we call MFP, or modular financial planning. So this is a year-long engagement. However, it's limited to a particular module. So it can be wealth protection, which is your protection needs, risk management, so your insurance or takaful, depending. Or it can be wealth accumulation. So this is your investments, moving towards the goals that you set for yourself. Or it can be wealth transfer, which is your estate planning. Either. So you will still get a full report. However, the recommendations will be limited to that particular area that you've engaged us to do. So if, let's say, you engage us for the wealth protection and you ask us for estate planning advice, we have the right not to answer. We have the right not to answer, and the cost of this particular service starts at 1,000 per module. So if you take multiple modules, then it will add up. So then we have what we call a full financial planning, or FFP. Okay, so full financial planning, or FFP, is our holistic, basically our main service that we provide to all our financial planning clients. So this is really end-to-end, holistic, one-stop center, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this one starts at 3,000 ringgit per annum. 3,000 ringgit per annum, or 0.1% of your total assets, whichever is higher. So depending on what your situation, because generally our experience is, though the people who have a lot more assets means a lot more work that needs to be done. So to be fair, you're taking more of your time, so then we charge more. Okay, so people who have less assets, then it will be generally cheaper. Because there's less things probably for us to do, so less time needed lah, in order to do what needs to be done. Okay, so, and what does it cover? Like I said, end to end. So just think about it. So what I tell my clients is, generally anything that you can think that comes under the purview of personal finances, inshallah it will be inclusive. So cash flow, debt, insurance, takaful, investment, any type. So you have your unit trust, stocks, crypto, exchange traded funds, equity crowdfunding, whatever lah. That
Will
you
they get
think,
a report, Rafiq, when they do this, a
Yeah.
specific report?
yeah, they will get a report that is tailored to their situation. So it wouldn't be a cookie cutter report where, okay, so person A buat, that report that comes out for person A, person B can use. It's not going to be the output is not going to be the same. The output is not going to be the same. So it's going to be very specific, very specialized to that particular person in your situation at that point of time.
I see. But can you change this report from time to time, or how do you go about?
The report generally is done once a year. We don't encourage changes that often, but basically, unless there is such a major change in your life, generally the recommendations doesn't change much. It will just be adjusted based on the change. But like I said, if there is a major change, suddenly, okay, you lost your job, things like that, and there's no you do not know, okay, when you're going to get a new job, etc. Even then, we probably won't update the plan. What we'll do is we'll just update your information, and then we will then advise you as per the situation. So if, let's say, okay, now the focus is actually to reduce expenses as much as possible, so then that will be the mode. So things like, okay, maybe you've done like investments or whatnot, okay, maybe we'll stop it from now, because you need to protect yourself, so you're not in an expansion or growth mode. So it doesn't make sense for you to put money that you don't have in investments.
I see. Rafi, you mentioned three types of services just now in WBA:
Mm.
financial health check, modular financial planning, and also full financial planning. So, how does people out there know which one is suitable for me? Which one that is I should do? Which one I should do, or should I do this one first, or how? I mean, how do you get about?
I think okay. So from our process, when let's say a prospect actually approaches us or approaches any of our financial planners, we actually will introduce in detail the services that we provide. So when we introduce, we would then highlight the pros and the cons of each of the service, and then the prospect will then link with okay, with their situation. So one is what they can afford, two is what they need. Okay, so but generally people will be doing stepping up instead of stepping down. So they will start from the cheapest one if let's say they want to try out, and then they will go upwards. So after they get the report, so now they see okay, this is my situation, etc. So then say okay, let me go to let's say full financial planning, because I then see the value of doing so.
I see.
Kan. Jarang lah orang daripada okay sign for financial planning tiba-tiba tukar fikiran kata buat financial health check.
Okay. Actually, my next question is: does engaging a financial planner expensive? But in a way, Rafiq has answered that question just now. As cheap as 300 ringgit to 1,000 ringgit to 3,000, as high as 3,000 ringgit or more, depending on the asset that you have. So, in a nutshell, I would say it's just about finding out what you need, okay, what is suitable for you, okay, and what you want in your life. Then you can choose from either financial health check, like what Rafiq has mentioned just now, to modular financial planning, to full financial planning. Okay, so Rafiq, next question. What if I don't want to engage with a financial planner? Can I do it myself?
Mm, I think I already touched a bit on it when I was giving my analogy on using a GPS just now.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you doing yourself, but there might be some mistakes that you do throughout your journey, and it's just a matter whether that mistake is something that you can recover from, or it is like a critical mistake that would put you behind. Okay, put you behind, and it's not that easy for you to recover. So you can do it yourself. There's a lot of people that also do it themselves. Okay, do it themselves, and some would probably be successful, some would probably not be as successful, because it's going to be very dependent from one person to another person. Yeah, so and also where you're getting your information from. Okay, where you're getting your information from, just imagine. So now, especially in the past few years, because we have a captive audience, so there's a lot of webinars, there's a lot of things that are being shared out there. Okay, so like just think about it from this point of view. Okay, if somebody's selling you houses, doing a webinar on property, etc., it's because they want to sell you houses. Okay, if you go to somebody who's doing unit trust, they also want to sell unit trust. If you listen to somebody who does takaful, they want to sell you takaful.
Hmm.
Okay, from a financial planner point of view, I always tell my clients, I don't care who you who you implement with. You can you can uh, you can go through us to do the analysis, etc. Blah, blah, blah. We can give you our recommendations. If you say, okay, I want to implement with my brother or my cousin or whatever, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So hence we call ourselves independent. So because in the end, what's important is your outcome, is where you're supposed to be, not what you're doing with us.
What are the possible financial mistakes that people always make, Rafiq?
I think okay, so financial mistakes that people always make, or if I want to list all of that, we might not have enough time.
Then we can
Kan?
share some example,
Some examples is
some
I
common
think
financial mistakes.
the most basic one is actually not understanding your cash flow.
Mm.
Okay, not understanding your cash flow. What do I mean by that is you don't understand cash flow because either you're only looking at your cash flow from a regular expenses basis, basically a monthly basis. So when extraordinary expenses come in, so then you're stuck, and extraordinary expenses will come in at least like quarterly or half yearly or annually. Okay, and that is what actually gets a lot of people into trap, because then when you don't have money in order to pay it, what's going to happen? You're going to take on credit. And
Mm.
the thing is credit actually adds up faster than wealth accumulation, because the rate for credit is actually higher. The interest rate is actually higher than what you can earn from normal investments. So hence the reason why you have a lot of people, as especially in Malaysia, that have debt issues, and it comes from not understanding their cash flow situation. Okay, then they don't understand cash flow situation, hence it becomes a problem. So that is actually the first thing that catches a lot of people. So when you don't understand cash flow, a lot of things will happen. If you can control your cash flow, you can manage your cash flow well. Actually, all the other things will come into place nicely.
Okay, all right. So one is not understand your cash flow. Other common financial mistakes that people do.
Okay, so another common financial mistake is to not questioning when somebody tells you something. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, so you might have your agents, or you might have your friends, your cousins, your relatives, etc. Okay, telling you, hey, this is a good thing for you to do, blah 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 blah. Okay, so
Mm.
you never question them, because they're somebody that you know or you trust. You just say, okay, I'm gonna do it. Again, coming back to the initial one, which is the not understanding cash flow, so then it's compounded. So not only you don't understand your cash flow, but then you're doing things without checking, without confirming, without verifying, without knowing, okay, do I actually need this? Okay, just because somebody tells you need to do. Okay, what do I mean by that? So I have clients who, based on their goals and everything, okay, so then I said, okay, you don't have to put any more money aside for investments. Okay, so then they said, why? Because you're on track already. So based on what you're doing, you should already exceed your goal. So unless you want to change your goal to become more aggressive, then there's no need for you to do this. So then they say, oh, okay. Uh, but if let's say I want to do it, then these are the pros and these are the cons. So it's up to you whether you decide. Because you have to remember, as the client, doesn't matter whether you're our clients or somebody else's client, the person that makes a decision is you, the client. It's your money. It's not my money.
Correct.
My job as a financial planner is actually to give you advice. So what's good and what's not good? What is the pro and con of each decision? So when you need to make the decision, you understand everything that you need to know. But like I said, whether you do it or not doesn't affect my financial situation in any way, shape, or form. Okay. So if you decide not to do anything, also that is a decision on its own. That is a decision on its own. And not taking action sometimes might be the worst action that you can take, or the worst decision that you can take,
Mm.
depending on the situation.
I see. Rafiq, I also met some misunderstanding or some confusion that people have. Okay, some people thought that okay, I already have my insurance in place, so okay, to them they have done their financial planning. Or some people thought that okay, I have done my wasiat, so they thought, oh, okay, I have done financial planning. So, what is your feedback or what is your comment about this misunderstanding?
I think that's where also awareness comes in. Just doing that doesn't constitute financial planning.
Mm.
Okay. when I meet with new prospects and everything, I make sure that I explain to them what financial planning is about, and it's not just one area. So I can get somebody who can approach me, cakap, Rafiq, can I just do investments with you? Okay, my answer to them will be no.
I see.
The
Wow.
main reason is actually very simple, because I'll just give you a scenario. Let's say Nick. So assume you're not a financial planner. Assume you're
Okay.
not a financial planner and you approach me, cakap, Rafiq, okay, I heard about you, blah blah blah. Can you help me manage my investments? Okay. A simple way is for me, if let's say I just want your money, I say yes lah. But the thing is, okay, let's say, I just ask you, okay, how much you're talking about? You say 1 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. Kan?
Mm.
Kan, 1 million. It's not a small amount of money, you say. Ni. So, but the thing is, even if let's say you say, okay, Rafiq, I have 1 million for you to manage or invest for me, my answer will still be no. I will still ask you, please take on the financial planning services. The reason is simple, because I do not know heads of tails with regards to your financial situation. How can I advise you how to invest that 1 million? Because as far as I know, that 1 million is everything that you have. It's not money that you can risk. Okay, or you have a medical situation, and that 1 million was a payout from your insurance or takaful
Yes.
policy,
Mm.
right? So if let's say we were to invest it and something were to happen, because you don't have insurance anymore, that's the only thing. And
Mm.
when we invest, I will also need to know your situation, because if I do not know, then I'll probably give you a certain proposal or recommendations, and might not be suited for your situation. So having just done something, so either take a takaful plan or having put money in let's say a unit trust investment, doesn't constitute financial planning. That is just basically what we call just taking your medication. So basically
Mm.
you're taking, but without without understanding why you need to take it.
I see. Okay.
And
All right.
you're just taking medication, you think it's over the counter medication, so you don't understand. So that's why a lot of people, when they don't understand, so then like a few years later, let's say certain things changes and everything, so they go, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, because they didn't understand why they took it in the first place.
In the first place. Yeah, totally, totally. Rafik, other than the financial mistakes that you have mentioned, what is the impact of not doing full financial planning?
Like I mentioned just now, not doing full financial planning means that from a client's point of view, or from a prospect point of view, individual point of view, you wouldn't know what your full situation is. Okay, you do not know your full situation is. You don't get a holistic overview and holistic advice. So all around advice in terms of how you can improve your financial situation in order for you to achieve your financial goals. Okay, and not knowing that and still making decisions in order with regards to finances might lead you to make financial mistakes, which then puts you in a worse situation than you started off with.
Mm.
Kan?
Right.
So that would then be one of the biggest issue lah, if you ask me, for
I
somebody
see.
not deciding to do full financial planning. Like I said to all my prospects that meet up with me, I said at least for the first year you need to do full financial planning.
I see.
At least for
Okay.
the first year you need to do full financial planning. If second year onwards you want to go to modular, it's okay because it's your decision. But at least from a financial planner point of view, uh, I'm already aware of your overall financial situation. So
Mm.
if I need to give you additional advice in terms of how to move forward, I can.
I see. All right. Rafi, I always mention in my live show every morning about life priorities, for example, like emergency funding, like retirement, children education, buying property. For Muslims, maybe Hajj planning, or even you want to talk about children getting married, your insurance, takaful, estate planning. So overall, these life priorities, right? So how do you put all this in a nutshell when it comes to full financial planning?
I think like once we understand what you're trying to do and we do the fact finding, so we can put it in basically what we call your journey lah. So
I
like
see.
okay, you want to buy all these things like that, and all of this has a number figure to them. Okay, so basically, how much would it cost? When do you want to do it? Okay, uh, how you go about doing it. So we can all put numbers to it. Okay, and what resources you currently have. So once we have all those numbers, then we can decide. Okay, will you get there when you want to get there, or will there be a gap? So if there's a gap, then we need to reallocate. We need to find ways in order for you to bridge the gap. If the gap can be bridged, because to be honest, some of the goals might be too far away.
I see. So when you mentioned that you put numbers to it, right? That means you will calculate for each and every life priorities which I mentioned just now, how much is needed, right? And then the client will be able to see what they have currently and where they wanted to go. So that's
Yep.
where you mean by point A and point B. I see.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess it's pretty clear that for someone to do a full financial planning, that knowing your point A, your current financial situation, which will always relate to your cash flow, asset, and liabilities, and also knowing for each life priorities that, like Rafiq mentioned just now, we will calculate how much that you need for your emergency funding, how much that you need for your retirement, how much will you need for your children education, for each and every individual child that you have. And if you want to buy a property, how much will you need by then? If your Hajj, I see. So all this will be in the full financial plan report.
Yes, it will be.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So I guess I feel that this is a very good report that all Malaysians should, like what Ravi said, at least you must do it for the first year so that you know where you are, you know your current financial situation and what is it in store for you. You see that we can plan. And how do we relate this to stages of life, Rafi, if you can share? Like I am 48. I think I'm almost towards retirement. But for some people who is like earlier just getting married or how do you relate this?
I think based on your goals, right? So different financial life stages, so your goals would probably be different. So maybe at the start, okay, you probably have, okay, I want to have kids, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car. So for then somebody who's already in, let's say, their mid 30s to mid 40s, so okay, I already have my kids, I already probably bought a car, I already bought a house. So now, okay, I need to plan for my children's education, I need to plan for my retirement. So it's probably different compared to even somebody who's 50 years old. So now probably everything is already on track. It's just that, okay, I want to go for my Hajj, and I want to go for I want to have my retirement ready. So how does this link to the life stages? Then it would be very different from if each life stages.
I see. All right. So different implementation or different approach or different, I would say,
All of the above. All of the, because okay, when you are younger, you have what we call longer runway. So means that
yeah,
you can take additional risks compared to somebody who is
we have more
older.
time. Yes,
Yeah, because you have less time, so you would be taking less risks with regard, especially with regards to your investments.
correct.
Okay,
Uh,
even let's say you want to talk certain things, so like something like estate planning, it is important for everyone, but it's less important for somebody who just started off. Maybe hutang pun tak banyak, apa, tak kahwin lagi, tak
just started
ada,
work.
got no dependence kan, versus somebody who already has a mature or growing family. So macam anak-anak still underage, have at least a considerable amount of debt from the
Mm.
house, from the car, maybe some personal loans here and there, things like that, and people depending on the source of income. And so those situations are not the same. Those situations are the same, and how we approach them will also not be the same. It will be different.
So just now I mentioned about life stages. If we relate to, okay, if you're married, not married, is there any difference for full financial planning for
Yeah.
married, not married, for husband, for wife, or for male or female?
There are, because each individual will be unique. So your situation would be unique. So even if, let's say, two people who are not married were to, and they have, let's say, the same income, they have the same amount of assets, they have the same amount of debt. But when we meet up, their financial plans would probably be different because they might have different goals.
Different ones, different needs.
Yeah, different ones, different needs, different goals. So how they spend their money is so different. I always tell people financial planning is more psychological than numbers.
I see. I see.
The numbers actually guides us, but it's actually more psychological. So how do we manage those numbers, which then dictates whether we succeed or not in terms of achieving our goals.
So I
Because like
guess
I say,
when
everybody knows that, okay, I need to invest more money, I need to
yeah,
diversify. But
correct.
if your mental state is not ready, you're not disciplined in order to do so, you won't do it. So you will not get to where you need to be.
I see. So for husband and wife, they could also have different needs. So should
Correct.
they have a separate financial planning?
It depends. It depends on them. So there are husbands and wife that do not share their financial information with each other. There are husbands and wife that shares everything. So it's very dependent on their relationship. I've had clients in both scenarios.
I see.
So the ones that don't share, then we treat them individually. The ones that share, then we can treat them as a couple. So doesn't mean your husband and wife, then we cannot take you on as individuals.
I see. So overall, whatever it is, whether married, not married, male, female, I think, not I think, full financial planning is the way forward that you should consider. Because like what Rafiq shared just now, when you do not make a financial planning, so you will not know about your financial situation holistically, comprehensively. So how can you make such decision in your life? Okay. All right. So we have another 3 minutes. So Rafiq, what would be your last comment or last feedback or last advice to all the listeners and viewers out there about full financial planning?
I think, like I mentioned just now, so you should obviously try it out at least one time to see, to at least experience it and see how it can help you in order for you to achieve your financial goals. Then only you would be able to understand whether this is useful or not for you. And there's no commitment anyway after you've, let's say, engaged. So after 1 year you want to move on, then it's fine. If during the engagement, like I said, you don't want to implement anything, that's your choice.
I
Okay,
see.
that's your
We have
choice.
one question before we go, Rafiq. Let's take this. Put it on, Kai. When did you first start planning your finances? When should a person start plan their finances? I
Okay,
think
so if you ask me, planning in the technical term of financial planning, probably, let's say, in the last 5 to 6 years. Okay, but if you say planning in terms of starting to manage my finances, since I started working, actually before even I started working.
I see.
Okay, so because planning planning is something that everybody can do. Okay, it's just whether it's comprehensive or not. So you should start to plan your finances as early as possible. Actually, it's just whether it's comprehensive or not. That's a different question.
Comprehensive
Okay,
and according to what is supposed to be done.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should still say, okay, I want to manage my finances. I want to have a budget. I want to put my money aside for investment. I want to, let's say, take protection. Blah 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 blah. You can start. You can start as early as you can. Okay. When I started working, I already said, okay, I need to put this money aside. So I put aside, including my EPF, I think about 35% of my income. I didn't earn that much back then, but I already put aside about 30 to 35% of my income from back then already, and lived with whatever left that I had. So which means like tak keluar makan lah, makan makan kat rumah lah. Kan? Been there, done that.
Okay. All right, so I think for the last 4 years since we have WBA, Rafiq has been advising numerous full financial planning clients. All right, so to those viewers and listeners out there, if you would like to check out the services of a licensed financial planner or have a taste or try to talk to a licensed financial planner, you can scan the QR code down there and check out. Maybe you could get a free financial pulse and how what is it like talking to a licensed financial planner. Okay, so no strings attached. Please do check it out. All right, so thank you so much, Rafiq, for joining me tonight, and to all those viewers out there, I'll see you again in next 2 weeks. Oh yeah, by the way, Rafiq, you would like to share about your financial hotline?
Oh, okay. Thanks, Nick, for inviting me. Just to ni, so every other Friday. So like this Friday is Nick's show. So every other Friday we have what we call a financial hotline show, where we yeah. So me and JJ. So you might know JJ from somewhere, right? And hanya dulu tak ada rambut lah. Sekarang dalam gambar ni ada rambut. Okay, so we actually just chat in general about any financial topics. So which is open to everybody. So if you have like any questions or burning questions that you have, it doesn't have to be financial planning. It can be anything. Please come and join us, and you can ask your questions. If we are able to answer it, we will then bring it up and we'll answer it live lah for you. Then.
Great. So do join Rafi in Financial Hotline show next Friday, alternate to my show, which we'll have in the next 2 weeks. Okay. So till then, we'll meet again. Assalamualaikum dan selamat berhujung minggu. Assalamualaikum. Bye.
Bye. Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Rafi.
Thank you for listening to the Financial Doctor Show.